So good day everyone. So for the last topic that we will be having, we will discuss about nucleic acids. So this is the last biomolecule to be discussed. So what is nucleic acid and its function? Nucleic acids are polymers of nucleotides with very specific functions in the cell. So we have DNA or the deoxyribonucleic acid. So this is the kind of nucleic acid wherein it carries the genetic information of a certain organism. So the characteristics that an organism will have, the diseases that it carries. So the recessive and the dominant allele. So it is all in the DNA. So another one, we also have RNA or the ribonucleic acid. This ribonucleic acid was already mentioned to you in the discussion about proteins, wherein this ribonucleic acid is the one which is involved in protein synthesis, the production of proteins. So it is needed in that process, wherein we have three kinds of RNA. We have tRNA or the transfer RNA. It is the kind of RNA that carries amino acids. Another one is the mRNA or the messenger RNA. It is the kind of RNA which copies the code from the DNA, and it will be translated in whatever protein is needed. And the other one is the ribonucleic acid or the rRNA. Basically, it composes the ribosomes. So those are the three types of ribonucleic acid or RNA. So since we are talking about DNA and RNA, we will also have the nucleotides. So these nucleotides are building blocks of these amino acids, these nucleic acids rather, the DNA and the RNA. Without the nucleotides, DNA and RNA will not not be there. Basically, it composes these nucleic acids. And we will also include ATP or the adenosine triphosphate, since adenosine triphosphate is also a nucleotide with 3-phosphate group attached to it. So it is the kind of this nucleotide gives us the energy that we need, or this nucleotide releases the energy that we can use in doing work. So let us have the DNA and the RNA structure. So nucleotides are a molecular complex of 3 types of molecules: a phosphate or a phosphoric acid, a pentose sugar, and a nitrogen-containing base. So this is a structure of the nucleotides that composes the DNA and the RNA. And as you can see in the picture, we have purine and we have pyrimidine. Okay, so purine is the structure of purine is somewhat different with the structure of pyrimidine. As you can see, it is very clear. As you can see there, we have hexagon there, and a pentagon. Then we have another pentagon, a larger pentagon, which is the sugar. Then in pyrimidine, we only have the sugar and the hexagon part. So both of them contains the phosphate or the phosphoric acid. So basically, this composes the DNA and the RNA structure. So only in but in RNA we do not have thymine. So in RNA, instead of thymine, we use uracil. Okay. So let us see the differences between the DNA and the RNA. So these are differences. DNA has deoxyribose sugar, while RNA has ribose sugar. So what is the difference between these two? Ribose sugar is a simple sugar. On the other hand, the deoxyribose sugar is a kind of a modified sugar wherein a single oxygen was removed from it. That is why it is called deoxy. deoxyribo. From the word D, it was removed, then oxygen. The oxygen was removed from the sugar, or from the ribose sugar. That is why it is called the deoxyribose. So that's the difference between the deoxyribose and the ribose. Another one is in RNA, the base uracil occurs instead of the base thymine in the DNA. So as mentioned earlier, in RNA we have uracil. In DNA we have thymine. The other components are the same. So that's the difference between the RNA and the DNA. Another one, this is a very obvious difference. DNA is double-stranded with complementary base pairing, while RNA is single-stranded. Okay, again, DNA is double-stranded. It is like a twisted ladder. Then on the other hand, RNA is only single-stranded, wherein it is just like half of the ladder. Okay, so those are the differences, or the general differences between the DNA and the RNA. Aside from their difference, again, DNA is the one that carries the genetic information, while RNA is the one that is involved in protein synthesis, production of proteins. So, complementary base pairing occurs where two strands of DNA are held together by hydrogen bonds between purine and pyrimidine bases. So, in DNA, the pyrimidine and the purine bases are always in pair. So, no matter how many purine bases are there, it has the same number of pyrimidine bases because they always comes in pair. So, the number of purine bases always equal to the number of pyrimidine bases, as mentioned. Okay, so the last one is all about adenosine triphosphate. So, those are the nucleotides that we have discussed on the first part. Now, let us have this adenosine triphosphate. So, what is this adenosine triphosphate? Adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, is a nucleotide of adenosine composed of ribose and adenine. So, just like the nucleotide adenine, so it also has a ribose sugar. So, this ATP is derived from its name from the 3-phosphate attached to the 5-carbon portion of the molecule. So as you can see here, there are 5-phosphate group which carries the energy, or the high energy bond, wherein when this ATP, or when one phosphate group of this ATP is detached or released from the larger component, so energy is being released, and that energy is being used by our cells, or by our body. So those are that is adenosine triphosphate. So ATP is a high energy molecule because the last two unstable phosphate bonds are easily broken. However, it is the entire molecule that releases the energy. Though only a single portion, or only a small portion of phosphate is being removed, the whole molecule releases the energy. And that is ATP, the energy that we are using, or our cells use. Usually in cells, the terminal phosphate bond is hydrolyzed, leaving ADP, adenosine diphosphate. So when a one phosphate group is removed, it will be called now ADP, or adenosine diphosphate, because it only has two phosphate group. So ATP is used in cells to supply energy for energy requiring processes such as synthetic reaction. Whenever a cell carries out an activity or builds molecule, it spends ATP. So ATP molecule is very much needed in our body. So without ATP, work will not be done in the cells. So it is the basic source of energy of our cells, ATP. That is why it is very important. So that is all, and I hope you learned something from the 4 topics that we had about carbohydrates, about lipids, proteins, and this last one about nucleic acids. So just wait for the formative assessment, and then by next week we will schedule your summative test, your performance task, and your periodical exam. So that is all. Thank you and good bless.